All right, fuel pressure regulator. As you can see, mine's leaking. This is a Jeep 4.0. All right, so fuel pressure regulator is right here. What I've got to do first is get the pressure off this fuel rail, and I'll do that right here. There's not much that's going to come out of there, so all I'm really going to do is this. Pressure's off that fuel rail now. Not much came out of there. All right, so I got to remove this thing, and all it really is one vacuum line that shoots right on there, and then the fuel pressure regulator sits on the rail here. And it's as simple as unscrewing the bracket, this bracket will come off. Lose that. And then this should be able to wiggle out. Let me kind of clean this up. And it's fairly clean already. Okay, so you want to make sure that you got the O-rings out of there. Now I can see from my old ones that I've got my O-rings. So what I'm looking at here is this one here. There's a O-ring back in here, and this one here, there's an O-ring right here. So I've got both of those O-rings out. So I'll take my new one and my old one and compare them, and they're the same thing if you look at it. You got the plastic O-ring here and then the rubber one here, and they look the same. So the way I'm going to lube these up, I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on them to lube them up. That's probably even too much oil. I just want to get a little something on these O-rings. Now you could use a little bit of grease. That's probably too much oil. But I just want a little something on these O-rings. Just a little something. So what I'm going to do is get it situated up here. I'm going to get it where it looks right. It looks like it's going in. And then I'm just going to take a pair of pliers and kind of make it go. Put some pressure on it to go. Come on. Now that should be in there. Let's screw this baby on and see what happens. Okay, that baby's sitting in there. I'll throw my vacuum on, right? And now, I'm gonna see if I can get it going. Okay, so now, I'm gonna try turning the key. I'm not gonna try starting it. I'm gonna turn the key, and that'll pressurize that fuel rail, and let's see if it's leaking. Fuel rail is now pressurized. And I don't see a leak anywhere. All right, so it looks like it's in pretty good shape. Let's give it a shot and see if we can start this thing. baby is running smooth, running nice. I'm gonna have to let it warm up for a minute, and then I'm gonna take it for a spin. So that's all there is to it. That's all there is to replacing the fuel pressure regulator. There's essentially one bolt. You got to let the pressure off the fuel rail, undo that bolt, wiggle that baby out of there, make sure the gasket's out of there, the little O-ring, stick a new one in, bolt it back up. Now, if my battery wasn't dead, I would have let you hear the way it sounded before. There was a pretty bad hesitation at the very beginning once you started it up, like it was missing. So what was happening was the fuel pressure in that rail was wrong. And all this thing does is keeps a constant pressure in that rail. So if the pressure's too high from that fuel pump, it'll send more gas back to the tank. I'm back here at the tailpipe. Now I'll let it warm up, but after it warms up, I'll be able to smell if it's still burning fuel. The way it was before, when Dawn would be in front of me in this, and I could be behind her driving, and I could smell the fuel ratio was not right. So after the thing warms up, I'll take it for a spin. I'm gonna get it nice and warm and see if that fuel ratio gets back. I think it will. I think it will. I'm pretty happy with it. So far. Now I'll drive it around a little bit. I need to build this battery back up. I'm gonna get it on the highway. Temperature is actually warmed up right at 210 where it's supposed to be. Every Jeep 4.0 runs at 210, and that's where they run. So this baby is running well. Here I am, I'm gonna get on the highway. So let's step on it. Changing out the fuel pressure regulator really smoothed this engine out, and it's responsive. I noticed a few different things. It's when you let off the gas on the highway, say you're running down the highway and then you let off the gas, it used to just, the lifters made noise. It was really loud on the lifters. So what was happening is the fuel pressure wasn't right in the fuel rail, and when I would let off the gas while the engine's running like that, it was essentially just shooting fuel down and spitting it out the back tailpipes, and it's not doing that anymore. The reason I replaced this fuel pressure regulator was because it was leaking. Frankly, that's the only reason I was replacing it. With almost 270,000 miles on it, it was probably the original, so it probably did have that many miles on it, and it was probably not that good. But this is the smoothest this engine's probably ever run.